Kids and cadets, happy Monday. Hopefully you had a good weekend. What we have here is a crafty M110, Mike 110. It happens to be a 2020. So yesterday I did a video on a crafty power mower powered machine, a Zhongchen. I told you I had a customer coming out. They had bought this actually from me maybe a year or two ago. They said it didn't run. We'll explain what that situation was all about. So they ended up taking a Boland's high wheeler. I showed you that yesterday. I had it parked right there in that empty space. I had it for $130, and they brought me that crafty M110. I gave $30 for the trade-in. This is what we fixed yesterday. I got this listed for $130. So it's a toss-up between this and the Boland's. They took the Boland's. So when they unloaded it, I says, do you want me to fix it and you just pay for the repair? No, we need a mower today. It's only day off and we got to cut the grass. We're just going to give you this one as a trade. So I got it on the ground, started pulling on it, nothing happened. So just by looking at it, I didn't know it was a 2020 at that point. I thought, oh, this looks like a respectable machine. I'll give $30 trade-in value for it. So I started grilling them on the fuel. I said, what fuel you using? Rec fuel, like you said. So, but then there was a couple, the woman says, oh, but we let Mary Lou borrow it. I thought, oh, Mary Lou put regular fuel in it. So we'll have to see what the deal is, if there's water in the tank or what. But the gentleman said he had the rec fuel and it was a year old. So I told him, don't let it sit around for a year. I says, these don't burn a lot of gas. Go ahead and maybe get a gallon or two. Don't fill a 5-gallon can and let that sit around for a long time. Just noticing somebody drop this off. I just saw this out of the corner of my eye and it wasn't here a while ago. So it looks like we got another project. I think this is the Cuban scrapper. Dropped this off because I had my neighbor translate a while ago. He said he did have a pressure washer he wanted to sell me. I'm guessing that may be it. So let's juice the 2020, see if it fires off. If it does, we'll throw it up and do a carb clean on it. Filter's not that bad, kind of dusty. The other issue is they said their storage building was full. They let it sit outside. And I told them at least cover it with a plastic bag. You can see all the mold on it. The black mold, they let it sit out. So I don't know what we're going to get into with this thing. We're going to find out. What we found out, it's fuel related. It burned the little bit of carb spray off. So we're going to go through this right now and clean the carb. So when I was pulling on, the lady goes, oh, watch, it's going to start. And I told him, yeah, that happened to me once. The lady brought out a machine and I pulled it once and it started. I think I did a video on that one a month ago. Ended up doing some work to the machine, like sharpen the blade, oil change, all that jazz. I serviced it. So I also gave this couple the option. I said, if I fix it and it's something really easy, you bring the Bolins back and I'll just charge you a little bit of money for the repair. And they said, no, we want the high wheel. It'll be easy to push. So they took the high wheel. They're going to keep the high wheel. So let's start taking this thing apart. Hope your Monday's going well. We had the Zhongchen up here yesterday doing the same thing, carburetor clean. It's going to be in the mid 60s here in Southwest Florida this week. You kids and cadets, come on down, get some sunshine. Okay, I'm going to grab my 8mm socket and take off the recoil. It's 8 or 5/16. So I'm gonna send a note to the customers, tell them that the fuel was the issue. Well, we'll know here in 20 minutes after I do the job and put it back down on the ground. We're gonna confirm it's fuel. But they really want the high wheeler, so I'm not gonna bother them. Okay. So we got an issue, and I'll show you. Somebody was in here. I looked at this and thought, where the heck are the screws? They did say Mary Lou took the plug out and cleaned it when they couldn't get it started. It looks like Mary Lou may have been in here. We've got the 2 sheet metals up here, the 2 screws that hold the carb on. I can see the head of the screws, and if you look at the side here, there's a huge air gap. Can you see that right there? It's not flush. You can see the red deck. You can see it right there. Right there. So they didn't tell me about this part, or maybe Mary Lou didn't squawk and tell him she had tampered with the machine. Never let Mary Lou borrow your equipment, because Mary Lou is going to screw it up. You never know what you're going to find. Okay, let's see what other damage Mary Lou did. Ta-da! Now that's funny. That's hilarious. I know sure than shit it wasn't Tommy time. I'd really have to be out of my mind to pull a stunt like that. If you ever see me screw up like that, tell me. I'm gonna quit. So why the hell didn't they continue on with the project? Did they clean it and put the bad gas back in the tank? Feels like it's got a full tank. Half a tank. Okay, so let's keep rolling. Where can I put you where you can still see? I got to be able to get in here and do my work. Mr. Chicken, you're in the way. You've seen me do this 55 times already. Z-bend on these linkages. I just poured gas on Mr. Snake. I'm not going to light any cigarettes. Okay. I'll bring you up for the big picture. I'm going to use a pair of needle nose. Separate the fuel line. And then I'm going to pour the gas into a clear liter container and see if there's moisture in it. I already told the customer when they were here, I said, put the fuel you got in the jug in your vehicle, it'll burn off. I said, go get some new fuel. I filled the gas tank of the Bolins with my own gas so they could get started on their lawn mowing. Yeah, I can look at this right now. This is, it's root beer. It's old gas. It smells kind of wonky. So I guess even, I don't know if Mary Lou used non-ethanol or ethanol fuel. It's really dark and there's crud floating around in there. So let me pour this in a separate container. I don't see, is there any water in it? No, it just looks like it's old. I'm pouring that in something else because I want to put the bowl fuel in here and see what that looks like. Okay, I still got my compressed air nearby. Let's see what's in the bowl. I'll try not to spill any fuel. I see why they weren't very keen on the idea of switching this thing out. Maybe they knew the real story. They had messed with the machine. They didn't want to get embarrassed. Okay, I had to get my big flat head here to separate the bowl. Okay, I got a little gap started. Now I'll just continue on and separate it. More really dark gasoline. Sees the jet plugged up. Jet's plugged up. Yeah, it stinks. It's got a smell to it. There's a little bit of oily substance down there, and I'm looking at the jet. Jet looks like it's blocked, or it's got some gooey junk in there. Yeah, but stinkometer is pretty high up there. It's an 8 on a scale of 0 to 10. Stinkometer is up there. This is stinky, rotten fuel. And it's plugged up. It's got some green snot in there. I think that's ethanol buildup. Let me pop the cartridge out and you'll see. Just blasting it with a little compressed air, it didn't do shit. So that's what the deal was with this one. I hope they listen to me and don't contaminate the Bolins. Okay, the secondary cartridge stayed in there. I just pulled out, but I see some green residue. So I think that's what our issue is. I'm going to get a wire and poke that through. We weren't getting any fuel. Main jet's plugged up. Oh yeah, I'm really having to pick it to get it out of there. It's not coming out easy. See that little bit of green residue there on the end of the wire. Yeah, it's not going easy. I think I might have made a small dent on it. I got to get a stiffer wire. I wonder what the hell is in there that solidified itself. I got some torch cleaners. I might have to get another one, or use a little carb clean to soften it up and then pick the heck out of it. This is going to be the hardest part, is picking this thing clean. I'm just going to manually brute force pick it through. Okay, that was useless. I'm going to get the carb cleaner. Just put a dab of cleaner on it and then start picking. Let it sit for a couple of seconds, soften that green snot up. Put the largest one in there. Let me go to the smallest one in the loop. It's not small enough to go all the way through. I got to get the bread wrapper. Okay, I'm seeing daylight, so we're making progress. That might be it. I think that carb cleaner helped. Okay, yeah, we're getting really close. We're like 10 feet away versus 100 feet. That's damn good. I should get a micro bit, because what is this, a 550? I'm probably already drilled this thing out. If I sold to him, I probably went through the carburetor. I think the ethanol fuel kind of screwed up my little gasket there. Okay, we're in business. Yep, this bread wrapper went all the way through finally. We got some penetration through the green snot. It's taken me longer to clean this brass jet than it did to get the carburetor off. Okay, let's make tracks and start putting this thing back together. My gasket here may be an issue. It's really deformed. I'm going to pull the secondary jet out with a pair of needle nose. I want to make sure that's clean. It doesn't look bad. The jet here is open, the secondary jet. Okay. Who's coming in? Allegiant. They got a nice color scheme on their planes. Allegiant Airlines coming in. He's probably going to have a big crosswind landing. There's some green snot still down there at the bottom. Kind of like Elmer's glue consistency. Okay, looks clean enough for me. We'll be sure to put the screws in the proper locations. Okay, let's reassemble this thing. We still have to blast some air through the gas tank. It feels awfully loose on the intake tube, but I guess it's snug enough. For the heck of it, I'm going to see if the O-ring's gone. And I don't readily see it here. Missing the O-ring. So maybe I screwed up and didn't put it on when I redid this thing a year ago. Or was this part of their screw up, not putting it back properly? Glad I caught that. I'd have unmetered air slipping through here. I felt like a little loose on the intake tube. I'm glad I caught that. Blunder, and it's not on the tube. Let me grab one real quick. Wasn't expecting this screw up, but I got a couple of junk carburetors around. I can see one right here that I'm gonna steal the O-ring off of. Just to keep this project going on. Moving on. You never know what's going to happen in a shade tree experience. This is the booger we're looking for. Goes in there like so. There's a nice little spot for it. Your white keeper keeps it in place. Let's start over here. Thanks, Mr. Chicken, for catching that. That was an awesome catch. You've seen me do this hundreds of times. You knew there was a screw up. There's nothing like a quality chicken to help you do the work. Now it's really tight. I can hardly get it on the intake tube. Sorry, I'm blocking you, but we got it on there. This is free and clear. Let me blast the tank out a little bit. So if I was a gambling man, I would say we're looking at a fuel issue here, just from what I see. But we're not out of the woods yet. But I do believe, from what I've seen so far, we're gonna have good luck now that we got rid of that brown gas. Okay, we'll be sure to put the screws on properly. think that looks a lot better, don't you? Okay, recoil goes on. Let me blast a little oil in it since we're here. We're going to oil it up a little bit. So the lady did say they used the heck out of this thing. She said they ran it into the ground. I don't know about that. I've seen much worse. You know what I mean? You've seen much worse. I mean, I've gotten them with stubs for blades, 22-inch blades worn down to 7 inches because they would used it for 25 years and there was nothing left but a stub. This one's in relatively good shape. Okay, let's keep rolling. I'm getting that stale gas smell. Wind's blowing right up my nostrils. I'm getting that stinky smell. Southwest is coming in, bringing a nice plane full of happy tourists. What do you say, Mr. Chicken? We fuel this thing. Looks pretty dry down there. I think I got most of it. Grab my Wawa non-ethanol, the magic gas. Give it a hefty drink. Probably should do it on the ground so I don't spill a lot of it. Which I think is good advice. Thanks for telling me that, you guys. Okay, let's lift this turd off of my makeshift workbench. We'll fuel it down here on the sunny ground. And see if this turd lives to see another day. So this will be a good turnaround. If I spent $30 to get it back, sell it for $130. This was a quick $100 turnaround. If it doesn't start, I'm going to go cry in my soup. I looked at the oil when they had dumped it off, but I'm going to check it again. I think the oil was at a good level. It's always good to get into a habit of checking oil at each startup. Yeah, we're at the high mark. And it's an automatic choke. Let's just pull on it and see what we have. What we have is a nice running 2020 Crafty. So it started right up. It was a fuel issue. I'm going to reach out to my customers and say, hey, get rid of that fuel. Like I said, it was shitty fuel. Go get some new fuel. So there you have it on the M110. Let me try to give you the Crafty number in case you kids and cadets have one of these 550s, 140cc. Is it in French and English? It's just English. Where are we? Okay, the ID sticker's missing. So I can't give you anything. I could give you an engine number possibly. If I look real hard. No, I really can't. There's too many numbers missing. All I can tell you, it's a 2020. I could go to the other side and try to get the engine number etched in the block, but it's normally right there. I just can't read it. Let me try that. I'll have the sun to my back. I might be able to read it. Let me move this thing. That helps. The 09 Papa 702-0279 Frank 1. Data manufacture 7th month 2020. The 09 Papa 702-0279 Frank 1 is the engine number. I can't give you the Crafty number. Mr. Chicken and I appreciate you coming out. Another successful turnaround on the 2020. Thanks. Have a good rest of your week. Happy Monday. Thanks for coming out. We'll throw some other videos at you this week about junk on 4 wheels. Thanks. Tip your waitress and wait staff. Thanks for coming out, as always. No clucking around this week. Get serious about chicken. No clucking.